Yes, it's the European Championships, and as expected, England are the cynosure of all eyes. Everybody's talking about England, and there's a lot of controversy, a lot of arguments, a lot of back and forth about, how best England should play and their performances so far, which have been quite honestly poor. And honestly, I don't see why this is that big a deal because I think it's pretty straightforward. You're going to an international tournament. The first thing you prioritize is balance. You always prioritize balance. You might have all the best players in the world. You might have 23 best players in the world, but when it comes down to it, you cannot fit all 23 into the squad. You cannot fit all your best players into the 11, especially if it's very clear that there's no balance achieved there. And everything that you have to, even from your squad selection ahead of the tournament, there has to be a clear plan. Why are you carrying this player? Why are you carrying this profile? And I think that that's something that Southgate didn't really think through. And it's very obvious because even when you see the actual action, you see Trent in midfield and you can't play to his strengths. You can't play to his strengths because you didn't take the guy or you're not playing guys who are going to take advantage of his best qualities. So at the end of the day, it's just a mess all around. And I think it's pretty straightforward. And it's so annoying that so much fuss has been made about it because it's pretty straightforward, right? Number one, your best players don't always have to be on the pitch at the same time. You don't always have to have Foden, plus Bellingham, plus Saka, plus everybody on the pitch at the same time. If you need to achieve balance, you can mix it up a bit. If you cannot achieve balance with all of them on the pitch, you bench somebody and you'll be willing to make switches, pretty quickly. You take out this guy and bring on this guy and he offers you something different. But even if he's offering you something similar, there's something he's bringing in that you're not getting from the other player, or maybe the other guy is just tired, So if this is the best position for three of your best players and it's the same place, you can't play all three together and try to force the issue. Just drop somebody, basically. It's very straightforward. So that's why all this talk is just pretty annoying to me, and I don't think Southgate is helping himself at all with some of the comments he's made and also with his selection and his stubbornness. It's very obvious, right? Go for balance, and everything you have to do has to have a clear reason, and we have to see it in action, even if it's not achieved. We have to see that at least this is the thinking behind this. This is what you were planning to do, and we're not seeing that. Instead, what we're seeing is this guy just looking clueless. Like, what is he doing? Right. But at the same time, I think it's very important to not downplay the things he's done already, which is the Euros final, World Cup semi-final. That is absolutely important to not downplay because I think that people have been trying to now downplay that and go back. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Southgate. I don't think he's as tactically astute, as you'd want. But international tournaments are more about just being able to read the game, really, and to try to achieve balance, and also a lot of man management, because the most important factor at this level in this tournament is pressure, ability to handle pressure. And for a manager who has been there and been able to take the team to the final of this competition, regardless of how you think they got there, whether they played easy teams or whatever, he got there, right? You still have to give him some level of respect for that. That said, I think that he's made a mess of this so badly, because if you're taking two young stars in midfield and you're dropping guys like Madison, you're dropping big names like Grealish and Rashford, you have to get it right, and you have to be willing to now, put in the players that you brought in as what do you call it? Risky picks. You're trying to be going for form and all that. Okay, now you brought Watson, you brought Mino. Might as well play them because their profiles are needed here. So if you didn't think you're going to play them or you're going to prioritize them, why would you drop more experienced players that you would ideally have played because they were not in form? It doesn't make any sense. It's like when Sven took Walcott to the World Cup in 2006. That was hilarious. Because why are you taking a 17-year-old Walcott to the World Cup? and he dropped Defoe. Okay, cool. Now you've taken Walcott to the World Cup, and then the World Cup comes and you're not going to play Walcott at all. Because when the pressure is highest, it's not a 17-year-old you're going to turn to, right? So why even take him at all? What was the point? What was the reasoning? You basically handicapped yourself. And that's the same thing here. You don't want to play Mainu, you don't want to play Watson, right? So why did you take them? If you're taking Madison, you're giving yourself more options. If you're taking Rashford, more options. You don't want to play Gordon. Okay, finally you played him. You know, you don't want to play Gordon. You don't want to play these guys that you carried. So why did you carry them? Might as well just throw them in and try. If you are going to prioritize experience when the tournament actually starts, then why would you drop experience to play? Regardless of form, it's all about the profile. The profiles, how do they fit? How do you make these profiles work? And why would you have 3 players in attack, in fact 4 players in attack, who all want ball to fit? Kane will drop, he wants ball to fit, and he wants to play those balls for someone who is running in behind. Saka wants ball to fit, Foden wants ball to fit, Bellingham wants ball to fit. And they're all players who are stars at their clubs, players who are ball dominant, who want the ball, right? And you have all these guys there and they're all demanding the ball and they all want to make something. At the same time, how do you make this work? Think back to Brazil. Brazil 2002, they had Ronaldinho, they had Rivaldo, they had Ronaldo. These are players that were top dogs, at their clubs, and players who naturally just demanded the ball and wanted to have more of the ball. But they found a way to make it, right? Because they used their qualities and they played according to their strengths. So everybody has strengths, right? Kane has his strengths. You have to find a way to maximize while also maximizing Bellingham. And if it's too much work, what do? You just play a very, very simple game and you drop who you need to drop. If you will play Foden on the left, you need an outlet down one side and you have none. Okay, so you want to drop Foden, right? Drop him. Instead of playing him on the left, play him from the bench. So you start Bellingham and at some point you bring on Foden to bring something different and you take out somebody. If you want to do ball retention, there's a way you do it. And also, I really never bought the whole Trent in midfield thing. I've been saying it from the start. Just let the right back be the right back. He's great in that position. Let him just play where he's naturally good. And you can't be testing things in a tournament. That is ridiculous. Stop. This whole thing is just funny to me, man, because I don't think that it's even that deep or that serious, right? It's like, why are you even doing all these things? It's not that deep. Like, you don't have to complicate anything. In fact, the best thing about international football, I think that matters most in international football, is keeping things simple. Keep things simple. It's as simple as that. Don't complicate anything. Just keep it simple. Do the basics right, and you are well on your way, to going very far. Of course, tactics have to come in at some point, but you have to also make sure that you do the basics right. And if you get that right, you are already halfway. Then the tactics come. All of that. Then the tactics come in. All that. But anyway, good luck to England. I hope that Southgate isn't listening too much to everybody, by the way, because I don't think that's a good thing if you're listening to what everybody has to say. But he needs to also be able to recognize issues that are there and very glaring and address them and do what needs to be done in order to make this team optimal. If not, they're not going to go very far. Anyway, see you later. Ciao. Also, part 3 of my video on Didier Drogba and Eto'o is dropping soon. So sorry that it took so long. We will make that happen. See ya.